And it seems that every admission or acknowledgement that came out of Penn State was forced out of them. And as opposed to, for example, Duke University Medical Center, when they had that horrible transplant debacle, they just came right out and said, we screwed up. This poor girl died because of our mistakes. We are terribly sorry. We're going to do whatever we can to make it up to her parents. And you know what? They ended up getting compliments for their fantastic communication, and they paid a lower amount in settlement than they probably would have otherwise, is what they found out afterwards. So Penn State's approach was the wrong one. I'm sure that the big-name agency they hired will steer them right from this point on, but playing catch-up is a lot harder than doing it right the first time.
We know they hired 2 big PR firms and spent a fortune to try, and probably didn't do it soon enough, like many other things they didn't do. But go ahead, take the floor.
Well, I mean, the reason why they're having to pay a big-name PR firm $200,000 a month is
$208,000, I think it was.
$208,000 a month was because of how horrendous a job they did in their initial communications. But communications on the internet. Melissa, did you have anything on that?
Well, what I was going to say, which you mentioned, was for the communities to prepare things like hashtags, dedicated hashtags that they pull out at any time that they're needed. But setting up portals for communication on the internet, that's one good technician, one good strategist, one good crisis manager, and who's understands social media. And you should have a very good strategy there put in place, like you said beforehand.
If you're a government official, let's say, and you're a mayor, you're a town supervisor, you're a county executive.
Right. Well, fortunately for the general population and for their leadership, the community leaders, there's probably few categories of organizations better prepared for crisis communications than various fire departments and their agencies. They tend to be exceptionally good at it.
When you're in the middle of a crisis like that, it's not really a good idea to be trying to sell people until you get your act together. That's just my thought.
Exactly.
That's true. The thing with LinkedIn is that a security crisis shouldn't be a crisis. It should be something that they planned for. This should have been within their risk assessment and planned already. So the fact that they're caught completely unprepared for this, that raises a whole bunch of questions just there on its own. This shouldn't be a crisis the way that it's a crisis. And on the front of them not having the right communication strategy, what's frustrating to me is that they're half-assing their communication strategy. So they're saying that they're going to be transparent. They're saying that we're answering questions by the form of an FAQ, but they're doing everything to the minimal, and everybody is still frustrated because their questions, they're not opening the lines to two-way communication.
I think the industry has its messages, and Mr. Dimon, along with others, are echoing their messages of, trying to balance safety with, prudent investment advice and having checks and balance systems, which obviously didn't work in this case. But I think their credibility at this point is so low that nobody's going to believe anything they say. And of course, then on top of that, now we have members of Congress who at election time like to showboat and find, platforms to stand on, and right now they're standing on Dimon's back as their platform because, his company screwed up and he's their figurehead. So